The world held its breath the moment the first clip surfaced, grainy, unfiltered, and unmistakably real. It wasn't one of Sheikh Hamdan's usual cinematic adventures or curated royal glimpses. This time, it was raw emotion, unguarded strength, and a mission that defied logic. The footage showed him not as a ruler's son or a global icon, but as a man willing to risk it all for something far greater than himself. The desert wind howled like an omen as he stepped forward, the sand swirling around his figure as though even nature understood the weight of his decision. Every heartbeat echoed like a drum of destiny. Behind the scenes, those who knew him best whispered that he hadn't slept for nights. The decision had come from a place of faith, not fame. It was about purpose, a line that divides those who live for power and those who live for meaning. Sheikh Hamdan had crossed that line without hesitation. Cameras rolled, but for once, he didn't seem aware of them. His focus was locked on the horizon, on something no lens could capture: the invisible battle between fear and courage. The man the world saw as unbreakable was about to prove that real strength begins where comfort ends. The footage revealed him in a zone no crown could protect: harsh conditions, blistering heat, and silence thick enough to feel. His team begged him to reconsider, to let others handle it, but he refused. There was something sacred in his eyes, a quiet fire that said, "If not me, then who?" That question alone changed everything. It wasn't about heroism. It was about responsibility. The kind that doesn't come from birthright, but from hard light. The moment he stepped into the unknown, the world witnessed what leadership truly meant: walking where no one dares, not for applause, but for purpose. When the real footage leaked, the internet erupted in disbelief. Millions replayed the clip, analyzing every frame, every expression, every gesture. Some said it looked like a royal mission gone wrong. Others believed it was something spiritual, an act of pure conviction. What no one could deny was the authenticity. It wasn't a staged moment. It was the reality of a man who carried the hopes of many on his shoulders and the faith of one in his chest. Each step he took in that desert felt like a declaration: I am not above risk. I am part of this earth, too. Those closest to him later revealed that Sheikh Hamdan's decision had been months in the making. He'd been quietly planning, preparing, training his mind and body for what was to come. He didn't want glory. He wanted proof that leadership still meant sacrifice, that titles meant nothing without courage behind them. The footage captured more than movement, it captured transformation. You could see the shift: the prince turning into a warrior, the poet turning into a man who would rather fall on his feet than lie on his knees. As night fell in the video, a rare sight unfolded: Sheikh Hamdan alone under a vast sky, the moon lighting his path like a divine witness. He removed his gloves, feeling the raw texture of the earth beneath his hands, whispering a prayer only the stars could hear. Those few seconds became legendary. Fans from every corner of the world shared the clip, calling it the night the prince became the people's heartbeat. It wasn't just admiration. It was connection. For once, royalty felt real, vulnerable, imperfect, but infinitely human. Reports later confirmed that the mission had been part of a larger humanitarian effort, one that required personal involvement in an area most wouldn't dare enter. Sheikh Hamdan's presence wasn't ceremonial, it was essential. The risks were enormous: hostile terrain, unpredictable weather, and the weight of global eyes. Yet in that peril, he found purpose. He didn't send orders from afar, he lived them. That's what the footage truly revealed: a ruler who led not from above, but from within. Even when exhaustion crept into his movements, he refused to stop. The sweat on his face wasn't just physical, it was emotional truth. Every drop told a story of endurance. In the days that followed, Dubai pulsed with a strange kind of energy, part awe, part disbelief. The city that had always seen Sheikh Hamdan as untouchable now spoke of him with new reverence. Not as a prince of privilege, but as a man of principle. Every cafe conversation, every social media post, every quiet whisper carried the same tone. He had risked everything not for glory, but for truth. The footage had pulled back the royal curtain and revealed something rare. A leader whose courage wasn't manufactured for cameras, but born from conviction. People didn't just admire him, they felt him. For once, the golden walls of royalty had dissolved into something human, raw, and unforgettable. That evening, he returned to the royal palace, sand still clinging to his boots and exhaustion written across his eyes. Yet, when he looked up at the night sky, there was a glimmer of peace there, like a man who had finally done what his soul had been urging him to do. Those who saw him enter said he carried himself differently that night, not with pride, but with a quiet satisfaction that comes only after facing the storm and surviving it. His advisors approached him with concern, but he simply smiled and said, "I did what I had to do." No words could capture the weight of that sentence. It wasn't defiance. It was destiny. Behind palace doors, his close friends revealed that the mission had changed him. He'd seen things that shook him, moments that humbled him, faces that would never leave his memory. And yet, in that pain, he found purpose. He began to write again, late nights, ink-stained hands, heart poured into verses that carried the scent of the desert and the echo of sacrifice. Those poems would later be shared under the title, "On the Line," a reflection of his experience. Each line was drenched in authenticity, filled with the kind of emotion that can only come from walking the edge between life and legacy. His words reminded everyone that even in power, a man's greatest strength lies in his heart. Meanwhile, the world continued to analyze every frame of the real footage. International outlets framed it as a story of heroism, while spiritual leaders spoke of divine purpose. Some saw it as a metaphor for faith under pressure, others as a testament to leadership in its purest form. But to Sheikh Hamdan, it was never about how the world would interpret it. It was about listening to that inner voice that refused to be silent. That's what made him different. He didn't follow applause, he followed conviction.